Hello everybody and welcome back. Today we're going to be looking at the Land Rover Series 2 1/4 diesel timing. We're going to be looking at the timing of the pump. We're going to be looking at the timing chain. We're going to check to see if it's okay, if it's in the right place. We're going to also check to see if the drive underneath the diesel pump is in the proper position, which is 20 degrees. We'll take a look at that. And then I want to get a little bit more timing out of the pump, so we're going to be doing a little trick here with to try to make the pump to go a little bit further. So that's later on, and then we're going to be starting it up, and you get to see my mistake at the end, the goofy mistake that I did or whatever. So thank you for liking and subscribing and following along. This is going to be all about timing and see if things that are wrong with the truck and the things maybe in the future I need to work on or anything. But thank you very much. Enjoy the video, and I'll catch you later. Stay awesome. As you've seen in the video, the truck is not running right at all. There's a miss in there. Whenever it's cold, it'll run pretty smooth, but as soon as it starts getting warmed up, it starts really running like crap. So if it sits there for a little bit, it just starts jerking and bouncing like that. As you may have seen in the video, I couldn't quite get it to show. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to look at the timing. I'm going to take a look at that. So the first thing I'm going to do is take this plate off right here. I'm going to tell you now, when you take this plate off the side, a lot of diesel fuel is going to come out. It's actually going to empty out all the fuel that's inside of the pump itself. So I'm just going to let you know now. So if you ever do this to yours, if you got to set your timing, that you already know this anyways, but I found it to be a surprise whenever I opened it up the first time. And this big splash of fuel comes flying out. So I put a t-shirt underneath there to catch it.
Alright, it's already dripping out pretty good underneath. I'll probably squeeze to get inside here.
There you go. Big amount of fuel just came out. Try not to mess up your gasket, your cork gasket, so you can reuse it. Alright, so here we are. I loosened up the diesel lines, the injector lines here, and I loosened up the pump itself. So now we're going to look down. I have a old bicycle side view mirror here. Hopefully you'll be able to see. Now you can see there the circlip. Can't really point to it or whatever. The circlip is right there. There you go, the circlip, and then there's the A. The A is supposed to be lined up with that circlip to be timed correctly. And also, I got, alright, there we go. So we got it lined up with the A and the circlip right there. You can see it right there. So it looks like I had it off quite a bit, but the funny thing is that I have it if you kind of look at the mounting bolts here, if you look at the adjuster bolts here, I have it almost maxed out to the full amount of advance that you can get for the pump. So this must be, this is where I had it set before or whatever, and I was slowly taking it back or whatever, and so I guess that should be the proper location there. It's almost to the max of the slot that's in this thing, but it's just a little smidge back from it. So I'm going to mark that as my timing mark now. Actually, I was wrong about the adjusters. I keep saying 14, but I meant 15 degrees. Okay, because it says 14 on the flywheel. But this is actually, I'm actually maxed out on my advance, and it's dead on the mark in there, whatever. I have to move around. But anyways, so we're dead on the mark here at 15 degrees, and we're maxed out on our adjusters. So it is what it is. I guess that's the best I'm going to get with this adjustment or whatever, but maybe you guys might know. But there's that circlip that's on the side. See if there's, let me know if that circlip could be moved around or whatever. So if it can be only in one position or the other one or whatever. So let me know down in the comments. All right, so let's skip ahead here. I was just talking about timing marks on here for the diesel pump. And now I took it outside. We're outside now again. Outside in the beautiful freezing cold now. I got gloves on and everything. And I got heavy coveralls on. But anyways, enough babbling. So now I'm here and I'm thinking this still has no power to it. It literally has no power. It has enough for me to drive around, but I can't even get it up to speed. I can't even get it out of second gear, which is still struggling in second gear. So the timing chain itself, it's up in here. It's in the front here. Something's going on with this. I have a feeling it's not lined up right or something's going on wrong, or maybe the drive gear underneath this, maybe I'll take off the pump and we'll look down inside there. So right now what I'm checking now is I'm checking for the EP, which is the exhaust peak. If you look down here, down inside here on your flywheel, I'll take a picture of it and post it up of the EP. So if you have it on EP down here, which is your exhaust peak, it's the peak of your cam, you want this to be at the top of the peak of the exhaust of number 1, and then you set your timing chain. So now I have it set up on the peak, and I zeroed out my gauge, and the gauge is now sitting on top of the exhaust for number 1. And I zeroed it out on the mark here. Okay, you follow with me, this gets a little technical here. So we're at EP here and we're zeroed out here. So this is a gauge I picked up at Harbor Freight. It's one of the cheap tool stores that we have here in America. So we're sitting here, okay? So I'm going to set you up on a tripod, and then I'm going to rotate the engine past EP, okay? So EP traveling up, while I was going up, I'll probably show you this too or whatever, but as you're going up, it's going up to the peak, and then you should stop here and then start coming back down the gauge like this. Because while that pin goes up and down, should go up, and it should start actually going this way and should not go this way. If it goes this way, that means you're not on the peak of the cam, and this rocker arm is still going up along the cam. So we're going to see how far this is off. I have a feeling it's going to be off because I just zeroed it out to here, but I haven't cranked the engine any further. So let me come right out. I'll get the tripod set up and I'll show you. We'll see what happens here. Okay, so I'm back. I got you in the tripod. So you can see we're here at 0, and then I got the crank handle down on the bottom. So I'm going to turn it, and we're going to see how much this actually jumps right here. And it should, like I said before, in theory, it should go the other way. Or maybe just jump up a little bit and then go down. So we'll see what happens here. right, ready to move it. I'm going to move it until the gauge stops moving. There you go. So it's off. It looks like it must be off by, we'll say, about 3 marks, so 3/1000ths it's off. A little bit there. So what the answer is, I don't know. I'm going to have to think about it and come back. Okay, this is try number 2. We're going to see if we see how much we jump, because last time it bounced off of the rocker arm. All right, I'm going to go over. Okay, so I did this probably about 3 or 4 times trying to get a good measurement on the gauge coming up, because when I'm trying to put it down here, this is going up and down and it's pushing against the gauge, and it pushes against the bottom part, and I can't get a good reading from it or whatever. But before it starts really moving out of the way, we're getting like 3 to probably about 4/1000ths off on the timing on the chain. So I don't know if that's good or bad or what. So I'm not really sure about that. So I'm gonna do some research on that and find out if I really need to take that front cover off and put a new timing chain on it or check it or whatever. So I'm not gonna make any calls on that right now. So as we're doing that, as I'm thinking about that, I'm gonna take the diesel pump off and I'm gonna check the timing down inside underneath the pump where that little drive gear is. So that's what I'm going to work on next, is taking this all apart. Okay, so we're going to be getting real nerdy around here, I guess. So I took the pump off and I wanted to check to see if this is at the correct position. It should be 20 degrees from the center of this out when your flywheel is at its proper timing mark, which is 16 for early ones like this. So I drew this up on a piece of cardboard, cut holes in it, and kind of got the center line going through the triangle here. So it's not 100% accurate, but it's pretty accurate. So then I used the construction speed square to get my 20 degrees that I need to get to find out if that pin's in the correct position. If you look in your repair manual, it'll have a little picture of this. So we'll go back to the truck. So we're back to the truck, and there's our center line right there. And we take this piece of paper here. It is at 20 degrees, that line. It is almost, it has to be, if we go to the center line of that, there you go, kind of look straight on. It's in the center line of that tab. You see that locating tab? We take this, line it up. That's pretty close to being dead on to the center line of that. See how I bring it up and back? So the drive flange thing here or whatever, it's in the proper position. So that should be number 1 right there. So this is good. That's some good news, which seems to be counterintuitive of this with the valve being off a third or a fourth. We'll just say a fourth or whatever. So I don't know. We'll leave this how it is or whatever. So that's good to know that that's in the proper position. So I got this all back together, put the cover plate back on. I got the priming or pump type, the inlet pumped on or whatever. So that's all snugged down and that's good. So this is a little trick I'm going to try, because like we said or whatever, I don't have enough space right here for timing because I'm fully adjusted. So I'll pull out, this is my old one that I had. This is the old housing. You can see that it's broken off right here. And you can see on the bottom there that somebody actually drilled and made it so it can have more adjustment inside the ends. They actually drilled they elongated the slot itself. You could see here on the new one that has a new body on it. See, that's got a lot more meat over here and here. So the slots aren't adjusted or changed or anything. So the diesel shop actually gave me this body. Well, they didn't give me, I'm sure they charged me something. But they gave me a new body or whatever when they rebuilt it. And so this tag here doesn't apply to it or nothing. And the old one, it didn't even have a tag on it. So it had no information. You can see there's a rivet right there for the old tag. But so whenever I installed it, it broke off and I just left it like that. So when I went to go get it rebuilt, he was like, you need a new one. They can't even test it in the machine because it's going to fall off the machine because these are so thin, these little pieces here. So this is my old one that I have. So I don't want to drill out those slots on here to try to get more adjustments. So I'm going to try a little trickery here or whatever. So what I got with these easy locks, and they're 5/16 24 thread. They go to 1032 thread. So the outside of this is 5/16 24, and then the ID of it is 1032. So I'm going to thread these into the hole. I'm going to make these into studs. I'm going to cut them off, and I should be able to, in theory, instead of having a stud here, here's actually a stud. I'll show you here. So if we have a stud here, and it's pushing up to there, so that's where we're fully maxed out right there on the truck. So we take this off, and we replace that stud. See how much smaller it is? So if I put a smaller stud in here, I should be able to adjust it further over. And this is going to be more of like a temporary fix. This is not a permanent fix. Temporarily permanent is usually what we always say. So I'm going to put this in. It won't hold the pump down as tight as before, but I think if we have 3 of them in there and I snug them down tight, I think it'll be okay to hold them down, at least so we can get some testing and I can get some good runs out of the engine for a little while. So I bought these at the local parts store. I bought these from McMaster-Carr, that their company here in America. They sell nothing but hardware and things like that. And I also bought these studs too. So these are grade 8 studs. They may give a little bit more strength than those. So I don't know, I might give these a try too, and maybe cut them off because they're kind of long. So we'll give this a try. We'll go over to the truck and install these in there. Take out the old studs, replace them with these inserts here, and give it a try. I have no idea if it's going to work, if it's going to get us more adjustment, how much more adjustment, enough or anything. So this is just a trick I'm going to try, and we'll see if it works. Here we are over at the engine. We got our little spacer things, our little inserts. Gonna stick them down in there. See if I'm not blocking the camera. It is kind of nice though, they come with this there's like a Loctite already on it, like a little resistance in there to keep them in there. So you got one in there. Then just use a flathead screwdriver to put them in until they're flush.
Ah, that works good.
There you go. See, now they're in there. They're nice and flush. Yeah, that works pretty good. That was pretty easy to do. So I'm going to put the stud in and see how long they are. We're going to use the black ones that I ordered, the high strength ones. See if I put them all the way in until they bottom out in the hole. We'll see how far they go in. Ah, not too bad. Kind of really high.
That's all right. We'll put them all in and we'll see if they're about the same height, and then I'll cut them all off at the same length. They slide in nice and smooth.
All right, so looks like we only need to cut off maybe like an inch or so, maybe a little bit less than an inch, about an inch long on this. I'll take these back out and cut them off and put them back in. We got the inserts in and the studs, and I cut them down, took an inch off of them, so they're about 2 inches long, including what's inside the block. So next thing I'm gonna do is put my gasket on, and I'm going to go and install the pump next. All right, so we got our keyway down there, and our pump also has a keyway right here. See there, it matches up with it. I'm going to turn the bottom so it matches it. Close enough to matches it. There you go. It took a little while, but it got it lined up there. All right, now I'm going to get some nuts and washers and put that on there. Okay, so I have it with, I put a 1/4 inch washer, no, I think it's 1/4 inch washer with a number 10 washer underneath it, and then with the nut on top, a number 10 nut. Got them all the way around, and I have it right back to the max setting, right to the max setting. So I have them just kind of snugged down right now. So then I rotated it the whole way around, just so to make sure there's no backlash or nothing. I did the whole thing, whole procedure, and cranked it around. And I cranked it, and I stopped it right before it hit 16. Right on the flywheel. We're right at 16. You can't see that at all, but it's right dead on 16. I used the fan here and got it right on dead on 16. And then look at this. And I had to clean the mirror because it was just so battered over dirt. It's still dirty, but still, see right there, look at that. It's dead on the A. I mean, I did not adjust the pump or nothing or anything. It is exactly right on A with them small studs. That's just amazing in itself. I can't believe it actually worked for now or whatever. Look at that. Okay, so, all right, so our timing is now set on the truck, and zoom it back out. The timing is now set on the truck exactly where it should be. So I'm going to snug these down and start installing the metal lines and everything. pretend like I know what I'm doing this time. Whenever I adjusted the valves, whenever I was checking the exhaust peak, I was checking that, I had the rocker arm, the adjuster completely loose, or I had it, yeah, completely loose, so that I could get as much movement out of that. And now let's start it up with the valves actually set this time. A lot smoother, isn't it? Definitely a lot less smoke than before. It's still got random poofs like that. Which I'm not really sure what that is. Well, if you made it to the end of the video, thank you very much, and I very much appreciate it. But you can see the truck, it still has really low power. If you can come up with any ideas why there's such low power, that would be great. I'd like to hear it in the comments below. But the next thing is I'm going to mess with the mixture screw and show you how to mess with the mixture inside the pump. So watch out for the next video. And again, thank you very much for following, liking, and subscribing. Stay awesome because you are awesome. All right, bye-bye.